Okay, so you've lost these delegate calendars. This can be a little on the cumbersome side. There is a secret, I refer to it as a secret area. What you want to do, I got to figure out who's NASA 813. I'm going to mute you for a little bit. All right. And if you can hear me, NASA 813, there's some audio in the background. I'm going to mute you for a while you get that turned down. Back to you, Scott. The issue is that now if you've lost them, but you've had them on the phone before, is that correct?
Well, I see them on my home computer, and you set them all up for me. So I've got them on my home iMac, but on all of my mobile devices, I just lost them all in the same day, and they don't appear. So then they're set up as hospitals. But I only see the main one, and when I go on my phone, it only shows me the one account, and that's it. And it says hide all calendars. I don't have the ability to pull them up anywhere.
So what you need to do is first go to gmail.com or google.com and log into your Gmail account. After you've done that, and you'll just write this down. This is a little tricky, and you need before I even get started, you actually need to do this on the device that you want to put the calendars onto. So if you want to do this on an iPhone, go to your iPhone first. Then
Okay.
and you're going to go to this particular website, m.google.com. That's a mobile website, m.google.com. And if you have not signed in, you need to sign in. After you've signed in, go back to m.google.com and you'll see a new screen. That new screen will show you your calendars, and you're going to have a little checklist. It's really hard to find. And right off the top of my head, I can't think of it exactly, but I'll do search in a second. But you'll find the checklist and you'll see your main calendar is checked and all your sub calendars or your delegate calendars are unchecked. That's one thing to try is to
messages.
a, a second thing you
Look for messages.
Joan, I'm going to mute you for just a second. And we're going to bring back NASA and let's see if she's gotten her audio. So Scott, after you've done that and tried that, that should take care. The thing is, you want to do this on the iPad and you want to do this on the iPhone as well.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So give that a shot first, and
Only 38.
All right, do that first. Let me see. I'm going to mute NASA again. We still got some sound going on, and I'm going to unmute Joan. All right, Joan, can you hear me? Joan, you got us?
Yes, I can, Scotty.
Okay, great. We're going to jump up to.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. All right, David, have you got your audio straightened up yet? David's audio is not working yet. All right, let's see if see if NASA can get to us. All right, NASA, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, there's a television program or something going on in the background. It's real easy for us to hear it. It's kind of hard for us to hear each other. So if you could knock that down a couple of notches. And now tell me, once you get back.
I'm here.
Is this,
Hello?
This is Nancy?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Nancy, what have you got going on this evening?
Hey, Scotty. I located my son's old iPad. I was cleaning some stuff out, and so I tried to reactivate it and get on the internet and all that, and I'm having trouble getting it going. It can't get the internet, and I tried to update the iPad, and it said I was going to lose the music and all that if I didn't update my software. We talked about this a little bit when you were here, but his has different music on it than mine.
Yeah. Well, no matter what, let's talk about that music for a second. If you drop an iPhone or an iPad into the lake like I did a couple of years ago, you're not going to lose the music that's on it because the music that's on it should actually be living in another location. Now, that is if it belongs to you. Now, if you purchase that music and you never synced your iPad back to your computer and your iPad got lost or damaged, then you can still go into iTunes and re-download all the purchased music. If the music was not purchased, then that means that the music came to the iPad from within iTunes anyway. So you don't need to be scared of losing the music on that iOS device unless your child took the iPad to another person's home and got some of their music from iTunes, and now his iPad has their music, which officially doesn't belong to you. So, and Apple doesn't care about that. So let's erase music. Let's not worry about music. The music has got to be in either your iTunes library or his iTunes library. Does that make sense?
It does, but I don't. How can I verify that? Because I don't see. How do I check music on his library?
Okay, he has his own computer. Is this son's that's away at college?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously,
But when he got this iPad, I don't know if he ever hooked it up to his computer, because when I hooked it up to my computer, I have an icon for it. It says Jarrett's iPad.
right. So if he never synced his, let me try to see if I can say this the right way. If he never synced his iPad to his own personal computer and he only synced it to yours, then the only other way that he would have gotten music onto that iPad would have been if he had purchased it. There are only two ways to get onto an iPad permanently within the iTunes app. That is, you buy it, which means if you buy it, you've got a record of having bought it and you can re-download it again, or you've pulled it over from iTunes. So if he got the music from your iTunes, then he could just get it again. If he got the music from his iTunes, that means from his iTunes account on his computer in the first place. Is that?
Yeah, I think they're on his computer, but not on mine, and I don't have his computer.
Okay, well, just while everybody's looking, can you see that I have iTunes open right now? I'm not sure what screen you guys are looking at. Can you see?
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got iTunes open here. Let's say I've lost some songs. If I want to get those songs back, then I go to iTunes Store, and this is for everybody. And this is not only songs, but this is movies, TV shows, apps that you may have lost or deleted, and you really want those back. If you go to iTunes Store, over on the right-hand side, you select Purchased Items. You select Purchased. I'm going through that a little bit fast, but over on the right-hand side, there's Purchased. You select that. Now you have a history of everything that you've bought. So I have bought 1,492 songs in my life through iTunes. And if I select that, then I can go and restore any of those. So here is, I don't know, whatever this is, Eyes on Fire by Blue Foundation. So I deleted that. I can go back over here, hit the cloud button, and re-download it, because I no longer don't think of buying music as you're buying a file. You're buying access to that file. So I have opened up the doorway to be able to download that. So if he needs to get to his music, then he can go into iTunes Store. When he gets to iTunes Store, he logs in as himself. Top right-hand area, he needs to be logged in as his email address or his Apple ID. Once he's done that, goes down to Purchased, selects Purchased, and he can re-download any of that content. So what I'm telling you here, Nancy, is that he hasn't really lost anything.
Okay.
He can always get it back. Whether he logs in as you or himself or me to get my music, it doesn't matter. All right?
Okay, so then how do I get this iPad working?
So the next thing you want to do, if this iPad is just completely barred here and it's just not shooting up at all, what you want to do is connect it to your computer and use a USB cable to do it. Once you've connected it, hopefully it will show up in some state as an object in iTunes. Does it show up in iTunes at all?
Yes, it does.
So once you've done it, you can select, if you do a right click, just like I've done here, you do a right click, and you could choose to back up that iPad. That backs up the entire image, whatever's there, it's going to make a backup of it. All right?
How did you get to that?
I plugged up my iPad. My iPad's plugged up, let's say, and then
You know that thing I have, that Belkin thing?
Yeah.
Can it be in that, or should it be to the back of the computer?
prefer when you're doing this job, you connect it directly to the back of the computer.
Okay, then I gotta do that, because I had it in there.
You have a USB hub. That's right. And when you're dealing with this, it's best to connect it directly to the back, because some USB hubs power better than others, and especially the iPad needs a lot of power. So once it's plugged in, Nancy, you're going to right-click on the iPad, and you're going to choose to back up. All right?
Okay.
After you close into back up, next thing you'll do when you're done with that is you're going to restore this thing. Let me see if I can figure out where to restore it. After you've chosen to back up, with it plugged up, over here in this area, in the middle area, there's going to be a button that says Restore. Now, there's not a button on mine right now because actually mine's not plugged up. It's syncing wirelessly. and you cannot restore the iPad without plugging it up. But once you plug it up, you'll be able to come over here and restore it. And if you say, well, restoring it is going to wipe everything out, and that's okay because you back up. So after you restore it, you plug it back up. Well, once you've restored it, you haven't unplugged it. You restore it. It'll present itself in about 10 or 15 minutes or so. It will say, would you like to start it as a new iPad, or would you like to recover from a backup? And you can say recover from a backup, and it'll pull everything back over again. What was your original problem with this iPad? Why are we restoring it again? I can't remember.
When I went to plug it in, I couldn't get internet on it. I couldn't get internet, and it wouldn't update without saying that I was going to lose all my stuff in the file, so I didn't do it. I was afraid to do it.
Okay, so let me back up for a second. Restoring the iPad may not solve this issue. This issue, you have two issues here. First of all, it's not getting on the internet. Now let's pause that for a moment. Your second issue is that you cannot sync an iPod or an iPad or an iPhone to multiple computers without losing some information. That's about 90% true. There are exceptions to that. But for our purposes, for normal people, you want to think of the iPad or the iOS device as syncing to one device, one computer.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So as soon as you took it away from whatever computer it was synced to, and you plugged it up to yours, your computer said, I'm going to erase it and start all over again. It's like a monogamous relationship. Leaves one, starts another one. All right?
Okay. Because it says updating to, we'll delete all the apps, media, blah, blah, blah. But I can say update anyway.
Yeah, and it'll take that away. But here's one other thing you can do. With it plugged up, if you go up under the word file, you can select the transfer purchases. It will transfer anything that was bought onto your computer, a copy of it. So you're not going to lose anything anyway.
It won't let me highlight that on this.
That's because you don't have his iPad selected in your left-hand column of iTunes. If I had music selected and I come up here and file, see, mine's grayed out as well. So you have to have the iPad selected, and I'm gonna get off here for a second, Nancy, or somebody else. But
okay.
That's what you do. Select that on that in the left-hand column, then you'll be able to transfer those purchases. All right.
Okay, I have that now.
All right, I'm going to jump over to, let's see, I think.
I can hear everyone now.
All right, great. Joan, let's get to you. What have you got this evening, Joan?
I had 3 quick questions. I think I solved them all myself, but I just wanted to verify one of them with you.
Okay.
It's a very non-technical question. Warner especially, his Mac is like almost 5 years old. His keyboard is disgusting. How do you clean it?
Well, you probably looked up and you probably saw some directions on sticking it in the dishwasher.
All different things.
I'm not a fan of sticking it in the dishwasher. I've been bitten by that bug before.
No.
But it's an old keyboard and not one of the new flatter ones?
Yes, it's the like they look like chiclets. They stick up.
Well, if you take some simple green, if you take the simple green and squeeze it on the rag, not on the keyboard,
Right.
That's going to get to the top. The middle part, I'd use a Q-tip, or you could take a pin or a really flat edge and put your rag in that, so that it's a wedge, and then that'll wipe that through, and you can get that really soaked with simple green as well. Windex.
Okay. What about alcohol?
I wouldn't use alcohol. I'd use either Windex. Of course, Windex has alcohol in it, or Simple Green. Simple Green has none of. I don't think it has alcohol in it, but it's not a major thing. There's not too much electronics inside the keyboard. That's why some people say it's okay to stick it in the dishwasher, but I don't recommend doing that.
I couldn't believe when I saw that as a solution.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there, and some of them do work. Okay, what else did you got?
Just things that I solved myself. You cannot change permanently the font size in messages. It comes up at an 8-point font, which I can hardly read. So each time somebody texts me, I have to change it. It will not hold the thing as far as I know. The same as on my Gmail or Apple Mail. I have to change it for each message.
Now, are you talking about as you send out or when you receive in?
When I receive, they're 8-point fonts. And I I can't change it permanently, which I'd love to. And from what research I've done, that's just the way Apple designed it, but I could be wrong. I
Uh,
hope I'm
well, and you've gone into the system settings. I mean, the settings for
Mhm.
mail into fonts, and that
Mhm.
message font. I've got it set at Helvetica 14. You've changed it there, and then when someone sends you an email, it's not at that larger size.
No, it's at 8,
Okay.
which is a little small for an older person to read.
Well, do you have your smaller and bigger icons in the top of the toolbar in Mail? That helps.
I don't have it up right now.
Right. So two things. First of all, put your smaller and bigger icons in the top of the toolbar, and to do that, you go under, I think it's View, Customize Toolbar, and then drag up the.
Okay, wait, now, are you in Mail or?
Yes, I'm in Mail, and I'm recording this for anybody that I go too fast for. Recording it, I'll post it on the internet and on my website under previous town halls. So to get that, to change any of the icons on most of the Apple branded apps, you select under View, go to Customize Toolbar. This works in Pages, Safari, lots of Apple apps, and then you have a whole list of fun little buttons. Some might help you. Most of them are pointless for most of us. And then if you want one, you drag it up there and you and then that item stays there forever.
Okay, which one? I just opened it. I would want which one dragged up? Oh, smaller and bigger?
Yeah. Now, an even faster way, and Joan, you know I'm a big fan of key commands. An even faster way is once you select an email, if it's too small, Command plus or Command minus will increase or decrease the size of the email. So that's
Right, I've done that, but I've had a problem with that. But my main problem is in Messages.
on the Messages app.
Right, texting.
Yeah. Okay, well, send them feedback because that's a new app. Yeah, that
Right.
Messages app. And I think the Messages app will get better when iOS 6 comes out. I think tomorrow.
19th.
Yeah, the 19th. Is that tomorrow?
Whoa. Sorry. 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days from now. All right, and Joan, your last follow-up question or comment, and then we're going to.
I figured it out. I wanted to correct some things on my birthday calendar, couldn't do it. Then I realized and found out that you go in through contacts and change it there, and everything worked fine.
Right. That's right, and that's a good point to point out to people. The default calendar in birthdays. The default calendar. Let me pull this up. Excuse this messy calendar. I kind of do calendars a different way these days. If you go under, let's see, where is it? Here. If you go to iCal and you go under your calendar, I guess it's called calendar now. You go to preferences. You have the ability under the general setting to show the birthdays in the calendar. This birthdays calendar pulls from the contacts in your address book.
Right.
So if your plumber sent you a V card, which is a little internet card for your contact, and he put his birthday in there, then your plumber's birthday is going to show up in your calendar, whether you really like your plumber or not. I personally don't like to use the birthdays calendar. I turn it off because I get all these other people. It's either everybody or nobody.
Right.
And then what I do is I would make a separate calendar just for birthdays, because when you really get down to it, think of how many people that are really truly in your life that you really want their birthdays. Maybe 15, maybe something like that. I don't know. Maybe, but Facebook too. If you're really into Facebook, a lot of you know that on the birthday, Facebook
Right, it sends everybody's.
and all that. Okay, but that's a good tip. All right, let's move on. David, what do you got?
Well, I have 3 questions, but they're kind of big, so I won't ask them all at once. One thing I was thinking of, though, I think you can turn up the font size across your whole phone through accessibility. For Joan?
I think the first thing she's talking about is the messaging app on Mountain Lion. Is that right, Joan?
On my Mac.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Okay, my first question is, like, with RAM, your memory in your computer,
Yes.
this doesn't really have to do with anything, but I was wondering, let's say you have 2 little RAM things that each say 1 gigabyte on them. Does that mean you have 2 gigabytes of RAM or 1?
You have 2 gigs. So
Okay.
in most of the computers that Apple makes, most of them, they have 2
Yes.
slots. All the laptops have 2 slots. Some of the iMacs have 4 slots. new iMacs. So this is a piece of RAM. This is what he's talking about. It's a computer chip that has little pieces of memory on it. So you have two slots. If you have a 1 gig and a 1 gig, that means that you have 2 gigs. 2 gigs is what Mountain Lion and Lion need just to operate. So 2 gigs is really the minimum amount that you can use these days. So if you're looking to upgrade your RAM, one of the places that I really like to go to is Crucial.com, and Crucial's got a fairly okay table to be able to drill down on what RAM you want. So you choose Apple, and then you go through the specs. Let's say I want an iMac, and I want to buy it for a 2.4 Core 2 Duo, and it'll tell me how much RAM I can put into there. So here, $60 for a 2x2. So that's a 2 gig chip and a 2 gig chip to equal 4. So you would essentially throw out the 1 and the 1, and you get 2 and 2. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. And so I have kind of a sub question to that. Is RAM like almost like AA batteries? Like once it's done, does it get like worn down almost? Like my mom upgraded her computer to like 8 gigabytes. So could I take her old sticks they each have 2 and put them in a computer, or would it not work?
That's a very good question. To back up just a second, to use the analogy that RAM is like a battery, I wouldn't really use that. However, RAM does, just like it's solid state memory is what it is. It's exactly what it is, just a small amount of solid state memory. And as you know, David, solid state memory has a limited amount of times that can be written to it, but that limited number is so vast, is so large that your computer is going to die before the solid state RAM gives up the ability to read or write information.
Okay.
That's not really an issue. But to answer your question, RAM, and Apple's guilty of this as well, whenever a computer manufacturer changes a device, they change the specs of the RAM. There's 200 pin SODIMMs, there's DIMMs, there's 204 pin SODIMMs, there's DDR2, there's DDR3, there's all these crazy specs. So what you want to do, if you really want to see if this RAM will work in your mom's, or your mom's RAM will work in yours, go to Crucial and look up the specs of the RAM on each of the devices. And you want to look at the settings here. In this particular one that I pulled up, it's DDR2 and with a 6400 speed. This is, I think, at 800 megahertz. There are about 3 or 4. This is kind of complicated, David, but there are about 3 or 4. One last thing, David, you should not mix and match. If your computer is rated at 5200, you can go to 6400, but don't put a 5200 and a 6400 chip in the same computer.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, it'll drop down to the slowest speed. But anyway.
That's about it. You can go ahead and move on.
All right, Scott, let's go back to you. And David, I might get some help from you on this one because this is a tricky one. What Scott wants to do, for those who join in a little bit late, Scott was looking to turn his delegate calendars back on his mobile device. And to do that within your phone can be sort of a deep, dark place. Scott, have you tried it, and has it been successful?
Well, I'm on Google Mobile, and I see Sync. Is that what I'm supposed to be looking at?
Do you see there is there a manage devices setting on that? I'm going to try to get to mine.
I see search, Google Plus, Gmail, Maps. I don't see manage devices. Under Sync it may.
Okay, give me a second here. I'm going to look up with you. This is I've dealt with this one time this week, and it is not a pretty place to go.
This is Google Mobile, correct?
That's right. You have to be logged in first. So
I'm logged in under my account.
On the device itself?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if.
Do you want me to hit my webcam and show you the picture I'm seeing?
No, that's okay. Let me see if I can find it first. But yeah, you're welcome to turn your webcam on. All right, give me a second. I know this is kind of boring for everybody. Okay, there's a little trick to this. See if I get to a shoot. Oh, wait, I think I left out Sync. There's another word. Sync. That's it. Okay, Scott.
Mhm.
If you've logged in, then go to m.google.com/sync. That's going to get you where you need to be.
Well, now I see sync. You can't see it if I hold it up. I've got sync highlighted there on m.google.com. I've got sync there.
m.google.com/sync is going to take you to a different place.
Okay.
So add the extension /sync in there. This is why iCloud calendars are so nice. And I understand you probably have some work stuff that's in that.
So now I'm looking at Google Sync,
Yeah.
and I'm doing it on my iPad first just because it's easier for me to see and manipulate. But it says Google Sync for your iPad.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm signed in.
All right. So let's see. If you go to that, how to set up Google Sync, that should be it. This is so mundane. Oh, okay. Now on your computer, go to m.google.com/sync on your computer. And you may have
Okay.
logged in there as well. You would think that they would make this so much better. So I just went to m.google.com/sync and I'm not logged in. So I need to log in first. So I'm going to go to any of these services. It doesn't matter what service you use. You just got to log in first. Good gracious. Go to like gmail.com. After you've logged into your Gmail account, now go to the top URL and go to m.google.com/sync, and you're supposed to see your device. Where is it? I don't see it. Man, this is one of those, they have a set of instructions over here. Now, here's another thing you could do also, Scott. You could also set up your Gmail account as an Exchange account, and I think that's what Google wants you to do. What I've been telling you to do is sort of the older way. They now allow all their Gmail accounts to be set up as Exchange account, and with Exchange account, it syncs calendars and contacts. And that support document is right here. I'll drop it. I'll paste it in the notes here in the meeting.
Am I better off doing that?
I think that'll be the easier thing. There's a link right there to it. That might be the easier way to do it. Set your Gmail account up on your iPhone and your iPad as Exchange accounts. In the Exchange accounts, all those calendars show up.
Okay.
All right. Took a little while to get to that answer, but I think that's the better way to do it.
So I can probably look at that and do it myself.
Yeah. What you would do is delete the Gmail account off of your iOS device and then re-add it as an Exchange account. And it's got the description right here on what you'll do. Mail contacts, calendars, add an account, choose Exchange account, and then down here they've got the settings for what you'll use.
Now all my delegates go away.
No, well, when you delete your Gmail account, you can delete any Gmail or Google information off of an iOS device and re-add it and it'll always come back. But when you add it in as an Exchange account, then those delegates will show up.
Okay.
All right? All right. All right, give that a shot. I think that's going to be a better way. All right, Nancy, where are we? Oh, I'm sorry, Susan, I didn't see you're in here. Susan, what have you got?
Hey, Scotty. Okay, so on my desktop keeps telling me that I have an update that I need to do for Mountain Lion.
Yeah.
But when I click on it to update, there's a message that reads, an error has occurred, the operation was canceled.
Okay. Let's see. I wonder what update it is. Can we jump over and look at your screen?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
I'm going to send a message to you, and you just allow it. And we're going to be able to see your screen. Everybody in the meeting will be able to see your screen. So hide the super secret stuff. All right. I need to see that. Yeah. All right. That's iTunes 10.7. Yeah. So when you're trying to go and download to update to 10.7, it's failing. All right. So there's two things here. A, the 10.7 update in iTunes, I would personally say don't even bother with it because iTunes is completely being rewritten from the ground up, and will be available in October as a completely new iTunes.
Okay.
So this particular update is not that big a deal. Secondly, if you want to skip this, if you really do want iTunes 10.7 and the software update method is not working, then Apple usually lets you just download it directly from their website, apple.com/iTunes, and you can just download it right from there. In other words, don't even use the software updater, just go right to the source and download a copy there. But if it were me, I would say, yeah, don't even worry about it. Unless you're getting a message.
I really don't need to worry about it till October then.
Yeah, unless you're getting a message. Let's say you get the iPhone 5, and let's say out of the box the iPhone 5 requires iTunes 10.7. Then you'd need that, and it's very likely that it would. Hey, Jay.
Okay.
Does that answer it? Do you have another question?
Yeah, but I have two little short questions.
All right, take them.
On Amber Knowles' new MacBook Pro, I go to, I can't access the App Store.
Okay, on her MacBook Pro, you can't access the App Store. All right.
Right.
Is her MacBook Pro nearby you?
Yes, I've got it.
All right. So the first thing you want to try to check out is you go open up a Finder window, and within that Finder window, you're going to go to the Applications folder, and let's drill down in the A's and let's see if App Store is there.
Okay. How do I get to the Finder folder?
You can either click on a picture of the hard drive if that's there, but if not, you can go click on the picture of the happy face that's in your dock. That's
Yeah,
it.
I got that.
Okay.
So what am I looking for here?
Go to the Applications folder, and once you're in the Applications folder, you're looking for an application called App Store, because that's exactly what the App Store is. It's just an application. Do you see App Store in there?
Yes.
Okay. Drag that to the dock. Click and drag it and drop it in the dock, and that gives you a shortcut to it from now on. And now you have the App Store back again. Does that solve it?
Well, and it was down. It was already there. I had an app for it.
Okay, so when you click on the App Store, what's happening?
It says cannot connect to the App Store.
Okay, cannot connect to the App Store. And obviously, you're on the internet with this computer. You know what it is? I bet your daughter has parental controls turned on, doesn't she?
No, and I checked that too.
Sorry, say that again?
I already checked that too.
Well, is she a managed user?
No, but I made sure that I don't have it.
Are you absolutely sure she's not a managed user?
She's a managed user. I have control over her, but I haven't restricted her from that.
If she's a managed user, and this is what you want to do next, go to System Preferences, go to the Users and Groups, and if you select Users and Groups, then you'll see a list of users, probably a parent's or an admin user, and then daughter's user. Is that correct? On her MacBook Pro?
It says current user is managed, yes.
Yeah. So since she's a managed user, no App Store for her.
Okay.
That's a problem that I think Apple needs to address. I think that they need to allow kids to be able to open up, be able to buy apps and things. But a managed user, in Apple's mind, at least as far as my understanding goes, is it basically blocks a port that the App Store needs to travel out to contact Apple headquarters or whatever. So no App Store for managed users. She can't make purchases there.
What if I need her to buy pages or something?
Then you log in. Then you log in under the parent's account, buy pages. It will be in the applications folder and available for her to use. And then you log back out and log back into her again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
I've done that with you actually. Okay, I have another question, but you can move on.
okay, we're gonna go back. I'm not sure what order I was in with everybody, so I apologize if I skip somebody. I'm gonna try to get back to Nancy here. Nancy, what's up? Nancy, are you with us? Okay.
Hey, I am. I still can't get on the.
Still can't get on the
Yeah,
internet
here,
with
there's
your iPad?
Yes, it says even though I give the password for our Wi-Fi, it says you can't connect because it's not responding.
Okay, so let's do this. Within your settings on your iOS device, go to Settings.
On my cell phone?
Your iPad. I think the device that you're trying to get onto, I think you said it's an iPad that won't join the network, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So go to that iPad. Jay, we'll get to you next. Go to that iPad select Wi-Fi within the settings. Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, so you're going to go to settings, then go to Wi-Fi, and then you're going to see a list of available networks.
Right?
Okay, is there a check at all next to your Nancy network, whatever the network your private network is?
Yes.
Okay, so it's checked. It's a check mark.
Correct.
Okay, select the blue circle on the right-hand side, and that should bring you to a whole new window. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, you see the words "forget this network" at the top?
Yeah.
Select to forget this network.
Okay.
Now, go back. Select to join the network. That's the Nancy network, your private home network.
Okay.
Put in the password again, whatever you think the password is, and let's see if that iPad connects or joins this time.
Okay.
You should get a check, and you should get your fan at the top left-hand corner of the iPad. True or false?
I'm a little behind you.
It's okay.
So go to somebody else, and I'm going to do this.
All right, Jay, what you got?
Hey, I'm getting a lot of what am I doing wrong here?
You're getting a lot of what?
Feedback.
Feedback.
Me too. Everything is being repeated.
Me
Yep.
too.
Maybe everything I say is so good, I want you to hear it twice. I don't know. I tell you what, Susan is the presenter. Let me jump back over to make me the presenter. Maybe that's what happened. Give me just a second.
I bet that's what it is.
It's all Susan's fault.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, stop.
Okay. Hopefully this will take care of that odd feedback.
No.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Still feedback.
Okay. Is it crazy and unusable?
It's tolerable.
All right. Let me turn down a little bit.
Hey, everybody.
All right.
Nice to see you all.
All right, so Jay, what were you saying? I apologize for the feedback. I'm on an alternative computer tonight. My GoToMeeting and Mountain Lion are not playing nice. But
well, it's interesting you say that. I don't like Lion.
Lion or Mountain
Hey,
Lion or both?
No, Lion. I'd like to get you to send me a link to go back to Mountain Lion, and then if it doesn't work in Mountain Lion, go back a step beyond that.
Okay, let me pause you for a moment. Okay, you have a computer or computers that you're probably on 10.8 Mountain Lion, and you want to either go back to 10.7 Lion, or you want to go all the way back to 10.6 Snow Leopard.
You know, I'm on 10.7.
You're on 10.7, and you want to go back to Snow Leopard, 10.6.
Yeah.
All right.
Because Lion's not compatible with the business that I do online.
That's going to be a hard move. It's possible, but it's going to be a hard and painful move. The easier thing might be to try to solve why the business software that you're using is not compatible with Lion. Because just to give you a real quick overview of what you're going to have to do to go from Lion back to Snow Leopard, you're going to have to back up a Time Machine, erase the entire drive, reinstall Snow Leopard from scratch, re-import your data from Time Machine, and that's a several hour process. It's not easy. You can't just do an archive and install. If you tried to just install Snow Leopard, it would go, sorry, can't do it. So you'd have to erase it basically.
I understand. Well, you know, Scotty, the problem may be the fact that I've got all those older machines that just aren't.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Is this your iCell software, or is this within a browser?
It's almost everything. It's not compatible with the eBay world, the GBase world, the Windows world out there that I have to sell.
Okay, so did you mention Cubase?
GBase, as in GWiz.
Okay, I'm not familiar with GBase.
This is all musical instrument sales formats.
I understand.
And the thing that's happening is that, well, right now what's happening on Lion is no pictures are printed. No photographs. My iPhoto library doesn't print. And my shipping labels don't print.
Okay.
I've had to go back to my laptop to do anything, and my big old tower is useless.
Okay.
It's dead.
I bet that those problems are solvable. I feel pretty confident that those problems are solvable.
Okay, well, I don't want to monopolize the town hall, so why don't you and I try to get together sometime?
Okay. Yeah, just schedule online. But yeah, I have a feeling those problems are solvable. I think we can take care of that. It might be a little slow because we'd be working on over online or whatnot, but
Okay.
we might be able to take care of that.
Now, why don't you just go ahead and pick a time and send me an email after this, because
I'd rather you schedule. Everything is automated online now, so you just go straight to my website and you can schedule a time that way. If you wait for me to do it, I'm probably not going to do it. I got 250 emails to answer tonight, which I won't answer. So no, I'd rather each individual person schedule themselves. I hope that doesn't sound rude. It's just that way you can pick the time that works for you, and I've got times that work because I'm listed there. So just at the you've done it before on the front page of the website. There's a little scheduling session there. All right, let's go back over to David. We've kind of held you off for a little while. Do you have anything else follow up, David?
Yes, I do.
All right, take it.
It's repeating. So every time I put my computer to sleep by closing the lid of it, and then I open it back up, it has this thing opened called, like, on the dock, called Mr. Wiz folder, W-I-Z, and it's there, and you can't open it or anything, so I just quit it. And then I search through the library, I search in Spotlight, I search Finder. There's no history of it, and then it just appears the next time. Like, what is it?
Okay, so I'm going to run through this really quick with you, David, assuming that you're going to be kind of on top of it mentally enough to keep up with what's going on. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, watching my screen, here's a couple places I want you to check, David. You're going to go into the main computer's library. And this doesn't apply to anybody else really listening to this. This is just David. So you're going to go to the main computer's library, David. Then you're going to go into a couple of different folders within this level. First thing you do is look at startup items and see if that Mr. Wiz item is listed there. Then you're going to go to two more folders, launch agents and launch daemons, and check for it there. So for instance, here is a horrid Adobe plist file that launches to check to see if Adobe needs an update every time I start my computer. Launch agents and launch daemons folder. Check in there. Delete anything that is referenced to Mr. Wiz in that. Secondly, go to your hidden users library, and you're going to do something very, very similar to that. In the hidden users library, and you know where I'm talking about, David, you have a launch agents, and in the launch agents, look for anything that is not branded com.apple. If it's not branded com.apple, then you can throw it away. And the secret here is you can actually throw all of this away. But you check there. And then if you have a startup items folder in this level, you can look there as well. Lastly, within your system preferences, and I bet you're going to find something with Mr. Wiz there. In your system preferences, go to and I'm going fast for you, David, right now. Go to system preferences, go to users and groups. Once you're at users and groups, you're going to go to login items, and that will show you a list of items that open when you log in. And if you have any kind of Mr. Wiz evidence there, get rid of it. One more thing. The last thing I want you to do is say that again.
Oh no, it's just sounds like Steve Jobs. One more thing.
Well, yeah, one more thing is for you, go into your users library. That's the users library. Go to the preferences file, and if there is some sort of Mr. Wiz application of some sort running, it's going to have a plist file. Find that plist file and throw it away. And don't look for com.mrwiz. Look for com.some other company name .mrwiz.plist. Just in case it's not listed under the same. All right?
Okay.
Try that first. I know that was a mouthful. Sorry about that. All right.
Oh, no, I'm reading all down.
Yeah, I think you got it. All right. Emma Day, what is poppin'?
I'm just listening. I just got in, so I just want to hear.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to skip over you, run over you like a freight train, and move to Joan.
Okay.
Joan, what have you got?
Last week you mentioned something about VLC video that we should install.
Yeah.
I'm hearing my own echo too, and I don't know why. I just plugged my headphones in, and I'm even echoing to myself. Anyway, briefly,
Keep going. I'm listening.
I went to download it, and it gave me too many choices, and I wasn't sure which one to download.
Okay. All right. I'll walk through that with you again here. And downloading and installing apps on a Mac is not the prettiest thing in the world. So here's the way that I would do it if I were going to install VLC. I'm going to open up a Safari window and I'm going to search for VLC. For those of you who don't know, VLC is what I call a Swiss Army knife for video. Joan has gotten some pieces of video from friends or family, and they have been in formats other than what her computer can currently show her. Like, for instance, QuickTime. Maybe QuickTime can't play the Windows Media Player file that she's been sent. So there are two tools, but first let's talk about VLC. VLC, I do a search, and the first result that comes up is the VLC webpage. I'm going to download VLC. It's 43 megs. I click the download button. Are you with me so far, Joan?
Sort of, but it came up with all different ones, different gigabytes, different this, and I didn't know which one to do.
It's the very first one. That's all you need to do. So again, search for VLC, and it's videoland.org. So I select videoland.org, and there's the one right here. Download VLC. That's the one you should go with. You may have gone into.
Quick, send me a link to that.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. I'll send it right now.
Thank you.
You may have gone into other systems and versions. You just
too many choices, and I didn't do it.
Got it. So to send somebody a link, let me see, where is it in Safari? Don't tell me they've taken it out. Share. Oh, they've got it under share now. Go to share, and then I can set to email this page. But I'm also going to copy, and I'll paste it into the notes here. But I'll email you that.
Thank you.
And that is going out to Joan. This one goes out to Joan. Okay, and once you get that, just download that first one. Now, after that image has been downloaded, the 43 megabyte image has been downloaded, Joan, I usually like to, because normally I'm still in Safari, I like to click on that top right-hand downward arrow, and it shows me a list of the things that I've downloaded recently. Then I can select that image, like say, for instance, whatever this is, select it, and then it's going to say, well, let me open this up. I'm using a test computer here. But ultimately, what you want to do after that's opened up is you want to drag the VLC file into the applications folder. Okay?
Okay.
And I think you're probably familiar with that. You've done this before. It's just like installing Chrome. You have to drag the application into the applications folder.
How do you do that?
Well, after you've downloaded a file from the internet, you click on that top arrow, that top right-hand arrow, the downward one, and it shows you a list of things that you've downloaded recently. So you select that image.
I don't see that. Oh, now I do. Never mind.
You select that image, and it's going to present you with a window of some sort that gives you a picture of the item you've downloaded and probably a picture of the applications folder as well. Firefox is real famous for this, where they will just have a picture of the Firefox app and a picture of the applications folder, and you don't know what to do with it. What you're supposed to do is drag that Firefox application and drop it in the applications folder, and then it lands in the applications folder. Now, after you've, and I hope I'm not going too fast on this, but after you've dropped that application into the applications folder, you still have to give your computer permission to run it. So when you open up that application for the very first time, your computer is going to say, because Apple wants to protect you from the bad guys in the world, it's going to say, hey, you downloaded this from the internet. Is it okay? Are you sure you want to run this? And you would say yes, because I downloaded it myself. It didn't download on its own. So that's how you do it.
Thank you.
All right. Let's move on. Nancy, how has the progress happened here? Nancy, you with us?
I'm on the internet now.
Oh, you
And,
got on?
Yep, I'm all set. But now I have another issue.
Okay.
I'm trying to go back. I went to my son's music, and now his music is all gone from the iPad, so now I need to restore it. So is this when I need to do the right-click the iPad backup, restore and recover backup?
Okay, well,
Or is
the main question we need to figure out is where did that music come from? Did it
Well, I
come from?
transferred it onto my iPad. I'm sorry, onto my iTunes.
Okay. Then you could, with his iPad connected, just go up under the word music up here, and I see iTunes in front of me right now. Select, and then you would say, I want to sync my music. And there's going to be an ability to click to sync for music. Mine doesn't say music syncing because I'm using iTunes Match, which is a new service that Apple's pushing out. Not really a big fan of it, but it's getting
So entire music library.
Yeah, and then when you do that,
sync all of it onto this. Is there a way to only sync the last transferred music?
yes, you actually could. It's a little tricky on how I'm going to tell you to do that, but if you just want to select a certain group of music, then here's what you might do. You go to music. I'm not using a great computer for this right now because this is a test computer I'm using, but you would go to music in iTunes and you would sort or you would view it. Let me see. Gosh, I need to jump over on another. Let me see if I can do this from another way here.
I can't just do it the easy way and say transfer last downloaded music.
Well, you might have that setting in iTunes. Well, let me just look at it on yours instead of me opening up this whole other thing on another computer. Let's just jump over and take a look at yours. So I'm going to ask for you to be the presenter. All right. So let's take a look at your screen. You should see a request for us to look at your screen now. Okay. So you're going to say sync music. And you're going to say no, just selected playlists. And now you could go down here and let's see if there's a recently added playlist. It's going to be a smart playlist. It's going to go up higher. If you had a recently added or last 12 months, not purchased, recent wish list, I don't see it there. Can you go into the playlists, move your mouse over to the word playlist. Now, scroll down a little bit. Nope, back down into there. Now, scroll down a little bit. There we go. Keep going. Is there a recently? Doesn't look like it. Nope, not a recent playlist there. Okay, so what you could do, this would be a pretty simple thing to do. Go back to music. Top right-hand corner. I'm sorry, top left-hand corner under library music, way over on the side of iTunes. There we go. Yep, select music. And this is everything. That's okay. Hit apply. That's all right. All right, now this is going to take off whatever music is there, and it's going to put on whatever music that you want. Everybody deals with this. All right, so remember, I spent a good long time convincing you that you're not going to lose any of your music because either the music is in iTunes or he can re-download it from Apple at any time. So if he bought $100 worth of music, he can always re-download that music. All right?
Okay. So erase it?
Go ahead. You transferred those purchases anyway. Okay, so now, while we're in your main music library, go under the word View at the very top of the menu bar. That's fine. Under the word View at the very top of the menu bar, and let's see if we can show View Options. View Options. All right? Now, we want to turn on Date Added. Look at Date Added. Left, there it is. Yep. All right, and select OK.
Should I leave all the rest of these checked?
The more you check, the slower iTunes works, actually. But I leave the rest of those unchecked for now. So now we've said date added. So no. You can leave the rest of those. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, hit OK on that. Now when you've hit OK,
I don't remember what was on. Okay.
now you'll see that there's a date added column. Go over to the date added column and click on the date added column. At the very top, the words date added. And that will organize either ascending or descending when it was recently added. Click it again. go all the way to the top. Yeah, I want to click that, reverse it. Either go to the bottom or click it again to reverse it. 917. So that's today. So select the very first one. Click on the very first one time. Now scroll down until 917 goes to a different date. Don't drag that. Just scroll down. There you go. Right. Just let that go and scroll down with your trackpad or whatever. And you're going to, there you go. That was it. Now move back up until you get to the ending. Now hold the shift key down, Nancy, and select that entire range. Now you have successfully selected everything that was on his iPad, or at least I should say everything that was added to this library today. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Now make a playlist of that. So with that selected, under the word file, I think it's file, new playlist. And call it whatever your son, you want to, call it your son's music or son's iPad music. Now, and hit return and tell the computer you're done, and then go back up to the very top. And that organize it in alphabetical order. So go to the very top of that. Yep. Keep going. Select music. And now you're going to drag those selected items and drop them in his playlist.
So just drag it anywhere?
Yeah, click on any one of those songs, and it's going to say 127. Go down to the Jared playlist. Keep going down to Jared, and let go. All right. Now go back to your iPad. I'm sorry this is taking so long. Go back to the Jared iPad in the top area above you, about 3 inches. Nope. Back over into the devices area. Yep, that's it. Select that.
Okay.
Now you're going to go to music and look around and see. You might need to just jump off. Let's say, go to summary for a moment. Yep, and now go right back to music. That window had to refresh. Now within that, you can drill down and you can find only import the Jared music, and it's going to be in there. That's it. And then sync is off of the screen, I believe. So you need to move the entire iTunes app over to the left, and you'll see sync in the bottom right-hand corner. All right?
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Is sync, you mean apply?
Yes, that's what I meant to say, apply.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right. Let's take maybe one more for this evening, and then we're going to get off. Susan, let's finish up with you, Susan. What else we got here?
Okay, I'm sure this is really easy. I just can't figure it out. Once I transferred to Mountain Lion last week, all of a sudden in my address book, I have multiple duplicates on my desktop address book.
Okay. I think I know exactly why, but it's a little bit of a couple of steps here. Let's jump over and look at your screen if that's okay, and I want to walk you through how we're going to do this, okay?
Okay. Tell me again how to do that. Sorry.
You're going to see a request in the front of you in just a moment. Okay. All right. Let's open up Address Book on which is now called Contacts in Mountain Lion. Okay. Now, notice that we have 2 buckets over here. On the left-hand column, we see an All on my Mac or an On my Mac, and then we see an iCloud. What we want to do is get rid of one of those buckets. That's why you have duplicates. So the way we're going to do this is first, we're going to make a backup of your address book. So under the word File, up at the menu bar.
Okay, wait, before you go through all that,
Yeah.
I don't sync my desktop and my phone with contacts. So should I just get rid of iCloud altogether?
Let me say that again. You broke out on one part.
I do not sync my contacts with my phone. I strictly, my phone and my desktop are separate.
Right, and I have probably told you personally to not let me do this.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the one. You're one of the very few that don't do that. Okay. So it sounds to me you just need to turn off iCloud. Yeah, you just need to turn off iCloud. So
Okay.
yeah, now this for everybody else listening. Susan has a very specific need for her contacts on these devices where she does not sync them. So yeah, what we're going to do is then turn off iCloud. So go to Contacts, top left-hand corner. Actually, we could do this from System Preferences too. Why don't you go to System Preferences? Thank you. Within iCloud, select iCloud on the left-hand side, and then we're going to unselect Contact Syncing. That's it. Okay, and delete those from your Mac. It's going to delete the iCloud contacts, not the other contacts. And so you'll be left with just your On My Mac contacts. All right?
Okay.
And that's a little bit better. Is that better?
Yeah, but see, there's still John.
That's okay. That's all right. I'm not too worried about that. Now let's go and click on the Contacts app itself. Click on that. In other words, we want to get rid of that window and bring this window to the front. Click. There we go. Okay, under the word card, top left-hand corner, select to search for duplicates. There we go. Look for duplicates. And it will tell us you have 20 or 30 or 50 or whatever, 140, that's fine. Now, if you select, and this is another thing that you need to think about here, but if you select that checkbox below, then it's going to say also merge the cards that have the same information. In other words, if you have my card from when I lived in New York and you have my card from when I lived in San Francisco, you would have one card with Scotty's 2 addresses in it. Is that what you want to do? I'll tell you what.
No, I think I've made it so that everybody, like I've changed their stuff. So no, I probably wouldn't have a lot of duplicates like that.
Well, why don't we do this? Since I hear a little bit of hesitation in your voice, hit cancel on this for a moment. Always better to be safe than sorry. Go to the word File, top left-hand corner, and let's make a backup of this. So export. Okay. Contacts archive. And that's going to drop it. You can drop that onto your desktop. That's fine. Just hit save. Now, the whole reason we're doing that is if I get a horrible, dirty, nasty email from you tonight saying, Scotty, whatever you did just messed up everything, we can always revert back to what your address book looks like today.
Okay.
Right this very second. Okay.
All right, so now you want me to go back to duplicates?
Yeah, look for duplicates, and then it'll find, and by the way, you can do this 1 or 2 or 3 times, and oftentimes it'll find less and less and less. But this is what I do. I select merge and then just go through it, and it'll bring them down. Now, if that John is in there several times, then that would mean that there's something unique about that card, whether it's a space or whatever, but it looks like it solved it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Scotty.
All right, no problem. Guys, I'm going to get offline. I'm sorry if I wasn't able to get to everyone's question, but I do appreciate it. I think I was able to record successfully tonight, so I'll try to get this posted up here this evening, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Thank you.